What starts out as a pretty simple business deal between two German Shepherd breeders, well, it completely unravels. This isn't just a story about paperwork, not at all. It's this messy, complicated tale of injured animals, some sketchy online deception, and a fiery courtroom showdown that really pulls back the curtain on the darker side of amateur breeding.
Right out of the gate, there are no gentle introductions here. Judge Judy just drops the hammer, immediately setting the tone and demanding the plaintiff get straight to the point. You can feel the tension from the very first second. So what on earth could have brought them to this point?
So, at its core, this whole thing is really about a breeding agreement that just went south. This is the fallout that started it all, and it's what lands these two breeders right in front of a national TV audience.
Okay, so let's meet the players. On one side, you have the plaintiff, Cara Albers. Her complaint seems simple enough. She says she was owed the official registration papers for the puppies as part of their deal. And then on the other side, you've got the defendant, Kimberly Parker. She has the puppies, but she's being sued for the very papers she claims she never got in the first place. The entire case, at least at the beginning, boils down to this missing paperwork. And just like that, in one swift move, Judge Judy absolutely demolishes the plaintiff's entire case. Done. The judge makes it crystal clear she is not interested in some paperwork dispute. Nope, she's already looking at a much bigger picture. With that main claim tossed right out the window, the courtroom's attention pivots entirely to what the defendant has to say. And this is where the story takes a much, much darker turn. The case swings away from contracts and papers and lands squarely on the serious issue of animal welfare, because the defendant's countersuit brings some really disturbing stuff to light. As part of their original agreement, the defendant received a total of 4 puppies from the plaintiff's litter. But what should have been a really happy, straightforward exchange, well, it turned into a major source of concern. So here is the defendant's really shocking claim. She alleges that one of the puppies was delivered to her with a severe ear injury. And the accusation isn't just about the injury itself, but that the plaintiff apparently failed to treat it or even mention it for days, letting a really nasty infection set in. The puppy with the injured ear, they gave him a pretty fitting, if tragic, name, Vincent van Gogh. It's a moment of really dark humor in the courtroom, but you know what? It also makes the animal at the center of this whole mess feel real. That puppy was ultimately donated to a Dogs for Heroes program, which is a nice end to a rough start. So now the case pivots again. It's moving away from the physical condition of the puppies and zeroing in on the plaintiff's business practices. This is where the defendant starts introducing digital evidence that suggests a pretty disturbing pattern of deception. The defendant accuses the plaintiff of advertising these puppies on Facebook when they were only 5 weeks old, but get this, claiming they were 8 weeks old and ready to go to new homes. Now, this is a serious allegation. Most states actually have laws against selling puppies that are under 8 weeks old, so the case just went from simple neglect to potential fraud. And this brings us to a direct battle of who do you believe? The defendant claims animal control paid a visit to the plaintiff's house, but the plaintiff fires right back, saying the puppies weren't even there at the time. It becomes a classic she said situation, leaving Judge Judy to figure out who's actually telling the truth. And here, right here, is the potential smoking gun. Let's break down this timeline. On September 18th, the plaintiff posts online that the puppies are AKC registered. Then, on October 11th, she advertises them as ready for homes. But the math just doesn't add up. They wouldn't actually be the required 8 weeks old until Halloween. The timeline itself seems to suggest a pretty clear deception. So, with all the evidence laid out, the conclusion comes swiftly. Judge Judy does not waste a single second delivering her judgment, and believe me, it is decisive. First, she turns to the plaintiff, the person who started this whole thing, and boom, your case is dismissed. It is a complete and total loss for her. Next, she turns to the defendant. Not only does the judge find her not liable for anything, she actually tells her she's ahead of the game, basically validating her entire side of the story and confirming that she came out on top. The case is officially over. But, a courtroom verdict doesn't just magically end the animosity. As they're leaving, the accusations are still flying. One is called a liar and a thief. The other is told they shouldn't be a dog owner. It's just a stark reminder that even when the law has its final say, the personal conflict can still rage on.
And that really brings us to the final crucial question, doesn't it? This whole thing started as a simple dispute over some paperwork, but it spiraled into these serious questions of animal welfare and deception. It really makes you wonder. In conflicts like this, when people are caught between broken agreements and conflicting stories, who is it that truly pays the price? So often, it's the ones who have no voice in the courtroom at all.